Hello YouTube, it's Saturday night. I forget the date. It's like September 25th or maybe the 26th. All I know is I'm running out of September and I was already struggling with making all the payments I need to make, by the end of the month. And probably one of the worst things that could possibly happened today. Oh, by the way, it's 11:30 p.m. At least it was when I started this video. I'm walking. My car gave up the ghost today. I'm worried it's the motor, which really sucks because I recently put quite a bit of money into putting another motor in it, and I still owe quite a bit of money on the last motor, so I don't know what the hell I'm going to do about this. I really don't. So I should probably back up a little bit so this makes sense, especially if you're kind of going in order and watching these to have them in context. So yeah, last video I was on my way to, I was going to Circle K to get my Sip and Save drink in hopes that maybe a little sugar and a little caffeine would help ease my headache and at least put me in a better mood. Start the day with a Fountain Mountain Dew, already prepaid on the Sip and Save subscription. It's always kind of puts my day at a sort of a pleasant start. And so yeah, that's where that video ended. I pulled up there and went inside, got my drink, everything went fine at that end. And got back out to my car and it wouldn't start. And it's been sounding a little bit off when I start it lately, and I really haven't paid it much mind. I mean, I've been meaning to swing it by my mechanic's place and kind of have him kind of maybe take a gander at it and see, if there was something wrong. The last time I did check it, it seemed a little low on oil. I mean, I put oil in it. And I don't know, maybe I've just got a bad oil leak and I haven't stayed on top of that, which will destroy a motor. But I haven't been, I mean, as far as I could tell, it's been running really good. And there's certainly been no warning lights on my dashboard, or anything, so I honestly hadn't been that concerned. Everything seemed to be fine. Anyway, yeah, I turned and just turned the key and it's turning over just fine. I mean, I wasn't that long ago I changed out and put a really nice new Interstate battery in it from Costco, and yeah, it's turning over and it just I don't know, I'm not a mechanic, I'm not a real expert with this kind of stuff, but it kind of sounds to me like it just lacks compression. Or maybe it lacks spark, I don't know, whatever it is. The tow truck driver, Priscilla, managed to get it towed to my mechanics using AAA, so at least that's one less thing to have to worry about. But when the tow truck driver there, he's like, well, what's wrong with it? I'm like, just kind of gestured him over and I turned the key and stuff. It was like, no start. How can I sum up the problem with this car with two words? No start. Yeah, not good. Yeah, what that truck just did, that's what my car failed to do. So, yeah, that car was kind of what was holding my life together, as far as getting me to my gigs that are just helping me, barely make ends meet, and allowing me to go out and look for additional gigs and promote the gigs that I have. And yeah, I don't have money put away to take care of this. As it is, I'm trying to. I mean, my mechanics have been super understanding about the fact that I owe him quite a bit of money for previous repairs, and I've kind of told him what's going on with it, and he's been like, well, it's like, I've known you a long time, Dan. You always take care of me. You're good. And I told him, in probably about for about 2 weeks. Last time I went and talked to him, I said, well, in about 2 weeks, I'll be able to start throwing you some money. And now it's kind of looking like it was going to be like more like 3 weeks. But again, I was figuring probably, first week in October, I could even have an else drop off like $100, And ooh, a messed up piece of sidewalk there. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. And maybe I'm assuming the worst. Maybe it could be something minor for all I know. With car stuff, I just never know. I'm not great with cars to the point where when something goes wrong, I know what it is. All I know is no start. So didn't have to put everything I had going on today on hold. As I said in the last video, my primary mission for today, at least at that point in time after getting my soda, was to basically eliminate my Cricket wireless bill and get that phone number moved over to my Obama phone account. I think I got that actually handled while I was in a mild panic and waiting for the tow truck to show up and waiting for Priscilla and her friend Ebony to show up to kind of help me out with stuff, moving my... So I've got, pretty much any time I've got, a certain amount of karaoke equipment in the car not great stuff, but just, stuff that needs microphone cases and cords and stuff. And so, yeah, move all that stuff to my apartment. And so anyways, I'm waiting for them to show up. I did manage to get through to Cricket customer service, and I don't want to hate on anybody for trying to do a job, and I get it, it's tough all over, but man, one thing that really frustrates me when I'm calling customer service is somebody that has such a strong accent that I can't understand them. And the woman who was trying to help me, I'm sure she meant well, and she genuinely did seem to be wanting to be helpful, but roughly half the things she said, I absolutely did not understand her. Now, I'm sure it didn't help any that I was at kind of a busy intersection in front of a Circle K, so there was, a lot of ambient noise. And it also didn't help that as I was trying to go through this kind of high pressure conversation, Priscilla called me a couple of times, and so that was kind of beeping in. And she needed to know some information to line up the tow. So, I get it, but yeah, I was just getting so high stressed, and I'm not sure what I just didn't understand what she was asking for, and some of her explanations, and it just got to the point where at about the third time of Priscilla calling in, I'm just like, you know what? I'm sorry, I don't understand you. I'm just gonna have to call back later and talk to somebody else. I just ended the call there, and damn, I hate, just kind of waste all the time that I spent on hold just even trying to get through to a person, because God knows the automation is, unless you're doing something as simple as making a payment or whatever. Most of the time, or just asking for the location of a store, which of course I could have done on Google. The automation is usually not too helpful. So, I got through to Priscilla. She just needed to know what year my car was. There's going to be so many other Saturns down there. Come on, figure it out when you get there. Anyway, I ended up calling back. At least the first gal, for as much as I was struggling with the whole language barrier of my not being able to hear her very well and not being able to understand her strong accent. She did manage to stop my auto pay, because that's the biggest concern. That phone bill's running me like $70 $75 a month-ish, which seems awfully high. You know, and at one point in the conversation, she's, you know, well, maybe we can get you on a cheaper plan, blah, blah, blah. No, you don't understand, ma'am. I've got another plan that is free, and I'm having serious money issues, and there's nothing you can offer me that works into my budget better than free. And all I can afford right now is free. So, no, I just need to get my number ported over. I need to keep this number. I've had this number for many years. This is the number my business calls come in on, work comes in on. I need this number just transferred, you know. And I'm trying to, you know, make sure that auto payment doesn't come out of my checking account, because once that money's gone, it's gone, you know. I don't need another month of Cricket service right now, especially considering that I seem to be running over my data limit every month, about halfway through the month. So obviously whatever service I had, not only was it overpriced, but it was inadequate. So yeah, so she did manage to cancel that. Anyway, when I called back, the other person I talked to also had an accent, but he was a lot easier to understand and very helpful, and walked me through everything I needed as far as getting me the information I needed for the company that does the Obama phones, which I think is called Assurance Wireless. And I've never had any contact with Assurance Wireless before today, and my first experience was frustrating, and I just think I didn't really call the right number. I got really minimal information from the guy at the phone from, you know, and he initially was telling me, hey, you know, hook you up with a job giving these out, and of course never followed up on that. I had a hell of a time. Like, he never texted. He said text me, and I texted him, and he never texted me back, and I tried calling him several times, and finally I got through to him on the phone, and he was like, oh, well, I've got another guy I'm training, and then I was going to text you back when I'm ready for you. And, yeah, well, that's never happened. It seems like we got a party going on here. Sounds like a good time. It's like a much better time going on there than what I've been having lately. Anyway, God, to be enough money I had just to have a little house of my own, that would be so nice. So, yeah, got the, I did get through, so I got all the information I needed, from Cricket, and, you know, explaining to the guy that, and he did confirm that yes, the other customer service person had canceled my automatic payments, and he's like, well, your service will be terminated upon non-payment. And I'm like, yeah, well, I just want to make sure that, so I've been a Cricket customer for the better part of, you know, like 25 years, as long as Cricket has been a service provider in the Phoenix metro area. I started from the very beginning, and I've had this account for well over a decade. Said I want to make sure I'm not left, you know, with looking like I've been, you know, that I'm leaving under good terms, that if I want to get service back with you guys again, that it's not an issue. And you know, on second thought, like thinking of it in hindsight, I'm thinking, you know, probably of course it's not an issue, because I mean they've got a habit as, you know, they've got a reputation as the ghetto phone company for a reason. Yeah, they don't let you owe them money, really. I don't think. It's not like you need a credit check to get with Cricket. You just prepay for everything. So I got a feeling like when payment doesn't happen, it just gets shut down. But my biggest concern at this point is that I do not lose my phone number that I've had for like 12, 13 years, 14 years. It's that number's really tied to me and tied to a lot of stuff, and I just absolutely will be. It'll be just a huge. It'll be a great personal devastation to me if I lose that. So, I got a hold of somebody at Assurance Wireless, and they said supporting my number over would be no problem. Gave them the info that I needed, and I had the stuff I needed for my insurance phone. The guy I got it from, who never called me back about the job, he had wrote that all down in the box, so I had it, you know, what I needed, where he needed it. And he's like, well, you're going to need to get this other info from your current wireless company. I'm like, oh, I've got that. And I did, because he told me what I needed to get. So I had that. And then the only thing that seemed to throw him off is he said, you need a PIN number. And I guess there's the PIN number for Assurance Wireless is a 6-digit number. And the PIN number for Cricket is a 4-digit number, which seems super, I don't know, it threw me down. Like, it seems like that stuff would be uniform from one carrier to another. But anyway, hopefully everything's okay. The biggest disappointment was when I got done, after I got everything through with the guy with Assurance Wireless. And initially when I called them, I got some automation that didn't get me through to a person. And I think I just called the wrong number. Like, I'm flipping through the brochure that came with the phone looking for numbers. The second I called a different number in a different part in the brochure, and I had no problem getting through. In fact, I got through to them much, much quicker than I ever get through to a person at Cricket. So, although to be fair, like, this is the first time I've tried to talk to a person at Cricket in, I would say, probably over 6 years, 7 years. Just one thing I've learned with Cricket from the get-go, and they used to be really cheaper than every other wireless service provider. Nowadays, I don't think so much. I really don't. In fact, I hear of a lot of deals that sound way better than what I have, and I've just been not really looking into it because because change is difficult. I struggle with change, and things are working, and I had an auto debit on it, and I've until lately never had any problem making that payment. So money comes out, phone stays on, it's hassle-free. I don't worry about it. One thing I learned from the get-go is by having a cheaper product that customer service is not there when you call. But as long as you always have your bill paid on time and everything's working, you don't need to really worry about that. And the random occasions that I did need something done, as far as like changing service to another phone, hello lights, change the service to another phone, or making a change to my service. In fact, I think the last time I made a change to my service was it'd be like four years ago. I don't know, when my sister passed away, when I was in Oklahoma. There was no internet. That was my only access to internet. So I had upped my data, and I'd set up a wireless hotspot on the phone, which I don't even think I've been using that service really since. But I always seem to run out of data anyway. So yeah, I should have really been in touch with them a long time ago to try to cater my service more to what I'm actually using. But at any rate, so I haven't had much need to contact Cricket in ages. And generally when I do, it's easier to go to a phone store, which is what I was working on before my car decided it didn't want to start anymore. Another, you can't see this because it's too dark. Another house in this neighborhood looks like it's being completely gutted and remodeled. I dig the style of the houses in this neighborhood, although once you get this close to McDowell, there does seem to be quite a bit of riffraff that wanders up here, which I'm sure I kind of look like I'm part of that right now. Oh, and for what it's worth, I'm walking to the Wander Inn. Priscilla's supposed to already be there, and thinking maybe just a beer, an inexpensive beer and some karaoke will put me in a better mood. And maybe some people will be down to help me and keep my karaoke going, because when I don't have transportation, it becomes super difficult. And a friend of mine had texted me about this. It's a bummer about your car, and I'm like, yeah. He goes, yeah, I don't know how the math on Uber works out. I'm like, it doesn't. Because the reality is I'm just barely making enough money to make ends meet as it is. And for what it costs to take Uber as far as I need to go to my shows, it costs me just about everything I'm making. So I mean, there's nothing. It's just simply not a tenable solution. Anyway, I think I got everything handled as far as switching the number on my phone. Although the big shock to me is I figured that was a pretty quick process once you got all the information from phone company 1 to phone company 2. And the last thing the person told me was that it should take anywhere from 24 to 72 hours. And I believe I've only got like 48 hours left of Cricket service. So I'm definitely going to follow up with it tomorrow and the next day, and hopefully it doesn't end up in me losing my number. That would be the worst. But anyway, wish me luck on that. I'm almost at the bar, so I'm just going to sign off. Thanks for coming with me.